most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from.
Welcome to the Network Show. I'm your host, Lawrence Wingate.
And I'm Nancy White, your other host. And today we have an amazing entrepreneur with us, Wakena Colon. And she is the owner and founder of Celebrations Remembered. So welcome, Wakena. We're so glad you're here
Welcome
today.
To the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Excited.
Everybody wants to know what's going on behind the scenes. And, everybody sees your amazing work and the results. But little do they know what really goes on behind the scenes. So, Wakena, share with us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. Was it something that you had family that were always entrepreneurs? Because just like a lot of people, you're working and you have started your business too on the side. So
Yes.
What was it?
I actually don't have anybody in my family who were entrepreneurs prior to me. So most of us are, military background, or we work and have always worked. I started working at 14. So this is just a journey that I've started. I've started several over the years, looking for just something that I could do and still be home with my daughter, with Kayla, and not have to go and leave her with a babysitter, so that I can go and make additional money. My 9 to 5 pays my our bills, and then all of my side entrepreneurships were always just so that we can travel and do the extra fun things. Being a single mom is sometimes tough, but Celebrations Remembered is one that I have a passion for, and really looking forward to it to be full-time. We've got a 5-year plan that's hoping to get us in a position where I can, as she's entering high school and college, that I'm home, so that I can help her through those times. So it's super exciting.
That is.
I understand that in Celebrations Remembered, there's your daughter, there's you, and your mother.
Yes.
Can you tell us how that come about?
Well, I started Celebrations Remembered because growing up, my mom has always found a reason to have a celebration, whatever it was, whether it was within our family or whether it was for folks, friends, co-workers, whatever it was. Mom was always throwing a party. And that's always been something that we've enjoyed doing together as a family. She's always gotten my sister and I involved in whatever she was doing at some level of it. And when I started Celebrations Remember, it just felt right to ask Mom to participate. And of course, Kayla, I do what I do so that I can spend that additional time with her. So this gives us even more time, because instead of me, telling her I'm working, then she can work with me. The last couple of weeks I've had a bad back, and she's been my person who's kind of gotten us through so that I can continue to do the business. So it's been fun, being able to spend that extra time with Mom. And yes.
3 generations.
So we're working, but we're having fun, and we're together.
That's a great thing about entrepreneurship, is something that you and the entire family could do.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
And the lessons that you're teaching her are huge, because a lot of things that Kayla's getting to experience with you are things that, like, you and I didn't learn until we were adults.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's an amazing gift that you're giving her, Wakena. That's fantastic. And speaking a little bit more about, Celebrations Remembered, I've been blessed to be a recipient of your creativity and your amazing gifts and talents when you helped me with my book launch. So as far as Celebrations Remembered, is there just a certain group or demographic that you love working with, or are you just open to anybody that wants to celebrate whatever?
We're open to anyone who has a celebration, much like your book launch. But truly the reason why we started Celebrations Remembered is we've gotten away from celebrating any of life's special moments, whether it's a birthday party or retirement or It's let's go to dinner. Well, when you go to dinner, you're going to dinner with a bunch of people you don't know. You don't really get that intimacy, kind of having conversation over a meal, and then you go home. So it's become very generic. Getting text messages. Oh, by the way, so-and-so's birthday's on Sunday. We're going to do cake and ice cream. Because our lives have gotten so busy. It's not like it used to be when I was growing up. Mom always did our birthday parties. I mean, I had a birthday party till I was 18 every year, never missed. But we're just busy, and so we wanted to be able to still bring that back into families, but reducing that stress for them by offering that full service. And then even just for folks who enjoy the kind of putting it all together, but not necessarily wanting to be hands-on the day of so they can enjoy it. We have that service also where we can just come in the day of, just manage it for you, help you with that final setup, help you so that then you can sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor, because we miss it. I know last year, I had started Celebrations Remembered. I think I shared with you before. Kayla graduated from 5th grade going into middle school. I threw this huge party. I don't have a single picture from the day.
This is from an event planner.
Yes, I don't have a single picture with her. I was so busy running around. I think I've shared with Nancy before. I don't know if I've shared with you. I have an electric vehicle. So we decided to, in the heat of June, throw this party outside at a park, and all of my desserts were melting. So I had to run my car at full blast for 4 hours, keeping everything cool. So I had to keep running to the car when folks were leaving to get them their treats. And Kayla left. Kayla didn't get her treats. She went to go visit with her dad right after, because he was here, so he took her with her. She didn't get her treats. And I was like, this is the reason why I do what I do. I completely missed her entire graduation party when I sat back after 6 months of planning this party. And pulling everything together. So that's the reason why we do what we do. We want, when we come in, for folks to be able to sit back and get those pictures and make those memories that I'll never have a 5th grade graduation with her again. So that's what we do.
Well, that was a fantastic reason because of what you do, and you do such an amazing job at it too. So, but just reflecting back to Wakena, you shared a little bit about that, but on your entrepreneurial journey, because it is a business and a journey that we all go through. So is there something that you can think that you would love to share with everybody that you would absolutely never ever want to do again that they could learn from? Oh, but before you answer that, we're going to break for a commercial, and then when we come back, you will get to hear Wakena's what she would never ever do again.
Be right back.
Hi, my name is Wakena with Celebrations Remembered. And if you've ever had a celebration that was so stressful that you hardly remember it, then we are the folks for you. We handle everything from start to finish, from your invitations all the way to your final cleanup. Our contact information on Facebook is facebook.com/celebrationsremembered and the number 1. Our email address is info@celebrationsremembered.com, and our phone number is 704-259-4458.
Welcome back to the Network Show. I'm your host, Lawrence Wingate.
And I'm Nancy White, your other host, and we have Wakena Colon here today with Celebrations Remembered. And before we left for the commercial, we asked Wakena a question about what was one of the things that she would absolutely never ever do again in her entrepreneurial journey. And so now we get to hear the answer to that question.
Oh my gosh, mine would be not having a business plan before I started. I had a vision and I knew what I wanted for my business, but didn't know how to formulate it on paper. So I just kind of ran with it. And that would be one of the things that I would never do again. It's really hard to follow a vision when you don't have those goals written down on paper. From everything from what's the purpose of our business to how are we going to finance it, how are we going to market it. It made it challenging, so we kind of backtracked. We were 1 year into our journey before we sat down and started doing things the right way. But that's one thing I wouldn't do it again.
Would never do, and I think
makes it so difficult.
It is.
Yes.
And there's great resources too for people that don't have a business plan, if they don't know about in their cities and their areas. You know, the SBA and SCORE, even local community colleges can do things for free and help you to be creating a business plan. But I think that's incredible because, you know, we've heard, you know, without a vision the people perish. But, you know, when you write it down and see it and you have something that you can measure and you know you've got the tracks that you're going to run on. So fantastic advice, Wakena. So thinking about the things that you didn't do then, what would you like to ask her?
Well, my thing is, because I'm always about, you know, passionate about family and having a business.
Yes.
From the time Kayla was born, until now that she's working in the company, how do you perceive her now?
She is just a little lady. She embraces her role within the business. She's confident when she's talking to folks and when she is at our events, because she's on site at every event as a host. But even in her role, you know, in designing our children's parties, she takes it on. One thing I had to learn as mom is we had to make sure putting her in the business that she was in a position where she enjoyed what she was doing. In the very beginning, it was pick this up, get me this, do this, and she hated it. She wanted absolutely nothing to do with the business. And so when we sat down and I was like, okay, well, what are some of the things you want to do? And of course, as an entrepreneur, as a mom, I think a lot of us struggle with that releasing things.
Yes.
And giving things and those responsibilities over. But I think once we did, she was able to really find herself, and it made it more enjoyable to have to now work together. And then just teaching her that with any job, with any business, the fun also comes with the mess that we have to clean up.
Right.
So there was that balance versus just always being mommy's go-to gopher and her cleanup person.
Right.
So yeah, she's growing into a little lady.
So during your time going through your entrepreneur journey, who has inspired you the most? Either your mother or people outside your family?
So for me, it would have to be folks that I've networked with. Nancy and I have networked for 10 years. She's seen me through the various journeys in my life, and you know, over the past 10 years. So she's huge, integral part in who I look up to. And then just some other ladies that I network with. Laura Tate is another one I've networked with for, I want to say 8 or 9 years also, with the National Association of Virtuous Women. She's another one that is my go-to, my mentor. And most recently, Shay Morton with the Business 911.
Right.
So these are ladies that I look up to, that I go to when, you know, I'm struggling, when I need advice. So those would be, because they're entrepreneurs. So there's not many folks in my own family that are entrepreneurs that I can go to really get the ins and outs and where am I messing up and where can I do better. So yeah.
So how important was the mentorship to you?
Oh, it's amazing. Because when you're, especially not having family background in entrepreneurship, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to know what you're doing right, how to make that switch when things aren't going right, and not having anybody that you can bounce ideas off of. It's hard. My first year, I really did struggle trying to get it all right and knowing all the answers and getting frustrated when I didn't know the answers and why isn't it working. So now that I've, not even just with folks that I have here locally, but even online on Facebook, there's so many mentorships on Facebook where you can connect with people who can show you the ins and outs of different things, maneuvering social media, just all these different aspects of our businesses where it's not all fun and games and just decorating a party and making it easy for everybody else. There's a lot of stuff on the background that we have to do. And so absolutely 100% the mentorships with the ladies that I've connected with on and off of social media has just been amazing this year.
So you would say then, Wakena, if I'm hearing you correctly, that collaborating and partnering, networking, reaching out, so some advice that you would share with other entrepreneurs that either, especially single moms or anybody that is just starting out, what would be the things that you would give them as far as advice on what to do?
Don't be scared to collaborate your business with other people who do the same thing as you do. I learned that this year from Lawrence and yourself when I went to Grind Time. And it truly makes a difference in your business to not be afraid of competition because there's so much business out there. I've learned that collaborating, I've met some amazing event planners that even just coming together again and just sitting at a table and just having a conversation and struggling. Most recently, I was working with an event planner and I'm planning Kayla's birthday party. So I was like, oh, how am I going to do this again?
And enjoy it.
Yeah, and enjoy it. I was like, well, I'm going to enjoy it because of the type of party that it is. I can't say because it's a surprise right now.
Right.
But I was talking to another event planner and completely forgot she was an event planner until we were talking. And I was like, hey, do you think you can help me? And she was like, yes. And the one aspect of the party that I was truly struggling with, she had mentioned in our text message. And I'm like, this is divine because how would she know that specific out of everything we could possibly do with an event, that particular piece is the piece that I was really struggling with. And so she's actually coming in and she's helping with Kayla's party, and I'll pay her for her services just like I do with other folks, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not super mom and I'm not a superhero.
Exactly.
And so that's one thing is pick other people's brains who do what you do, and learn from other people. And there's business to go around for all of us. So when I'm too busy, I can send them to one of these other great ladies and vice versa.
One thing about entrepreneurship, you cannot do it by yourself.
Absolutely not.
Well, and you just had a great segue because so how can people get back in touch with you, Wakena? How can they connect with you to be able to pick your brain, but also potentially have you work with them on an amazing celebration that they want to remember?
So Celebrations Remembered is on Facebook at facebook.com, Celebrations Remembered, the number 1. We are on Instagram at celebrations_remembered. And then our email address is info@celebrationsremembered.com. And our phone number is 704-259-4458.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And how much time should people plan to have their celebrations?
We say it's never too early to start planning. Like I said, I start planning Kayla's stuff usually 3 to 4 months at least ahead of time, because that really allows for time, especially with Celebrations Remembered, where we're not going to the store and handpicking the decor off of the shelves. In a pinch, then that's where we're kind of pushed into that corner, but we truly try to make it customized to the event that we're holding and making it personalized to the host or to the guest of honor, depending on who we're celebrating. So 3 to 4 months is usually a good time to start that process.
Great advice.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you. And we also want to say this is the end of this segment. So we'll see you next week.
Most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. You are what you are in this world. That's either one or two things. Either you're somebody or you're nobody. The most important thing in business is honesty. Family. Never forgetting where we came from. So you are what you are in this world.